Today is June 15th, 2019. I have been planning to make a video for a long time, but for various reasons, and I'm going to tell you what some of those reasons are, it hasn't really been feasible. It's been an awfully long time since I made a video, and I was going to do it just sitting at my computer at home and put some pictures in, make a kind of a slideshow out of it. But as long as I have to drive into Neustadt today, I thought it's a good opportunity to take you for a ride in the car. There's a dirty windscreen, and tell you what's going on. First of all, I guess I just have to say that I am basically an invalid. For the last 8 to 10 weeks, I have not been able to walk without a crutch or without crutches, and no one knew why. It was a big question mark whether it was my knee that was bad, which it is, but or whether it was some pinched nerve in my spine. There were all kinds of theories until I finally got an MRI, and the fact is my left hip is completely degenerated. There's virtually no joint left, and as a consequence I have extreme pain in my hip. It's not unusual. I mean, it's not unusual. Yeah, it's not unknown to me, because I have had I've had two right hips replaced. I mean, I had my hip on my right side replaced in 2004, and again in 2015 because it had come loose, and now my left hip is out. So I will be having surgery in the next, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I would imagine. I kind of hope, because the pain is really, well, it's a problem to make sure. So that's one of the things. The second thing that has kept me from being able to make a video is the fact that Karen and I, well, how should I say this? Karen Karen was approached by a major publishing company that asked if she didn't want to write a book about the way she makes her pies. Basically a workshop, a manual on how to make decorative, artistically decorated pies. And that meant a lot of work for both of us, because she had to make all of the pies again and basically dictate the manuscript to me, and I wrote it then on a computer. And we only had 8 weeks to do that, which is, well, it's crazy, of course. I mean, writing a book in 8 weeks. But we did get it done, and I will put a picture of the cover here. if you're interested, or if you just like to look, it's already available on, well, no, I mean, you can pre-order it on Amazon. I'll put the information up here. And so that kept us very busy, because once we had the manuscript done, it had to be read and reread and modified and corrected and proofread. And publishing a book is it's a lot of fun, actually, but it's also very demanding, and it takes a lot of effort. But we got it, like I say, we got it done, and it's going to be available in October, which is good, because it's the kind of book that people might buy for Christmas present. Well, some of you know how beautiful Karin's pies are. I'll put a few of them up here now, and you can take a look. She tells in her book how you can create these kind of artistically decorated pies. You don't need a lot of special equipment or anything, but some patience and time. And you have to work very accurately, of course. That's probably the main thing. In any case, that's has kept us busy. Then something that I don't usually talk about, personal losses and things in our family on the internet, on YouTube, or on Facebook. So I didn't really mention that we lost our dear sweet Andor this last January. He had a let's see, what's it in English? As you can tell, I'm having trouble speaking English because I get almost no practice. I don't speak English to anyone, but occasionally on the telephone with my friend Ray from Vermont. Anyway, Andor had a spleen tumor. And it was operated on in November, and then in early in January he suddenly just broke down, and we took him to the vet, and he was just, his insides were just full of tumor, metastases and primary tumor. So he if we had not ended his suffering, he would have probably died within a few hours anyway. So we were very, very sad about it, and we didn't talk about it and outside of our own family, basically. But what happened was that we realized very quickly that we did not want to live without having a dog. So in the beginning of May, Karen did some searching and looking, and she found a well, this is too bad. The store is closed here. I'm gonna have to, well, we'll just go on and go to another store. In any case, Karen found a breeder, a German Shepherd breeder, who breeds an East German, that is what used to be the German Democratic Republic in the East here, when there was still communist rule and so on, and the Germanys were separated. A breed of German Shepherds that were bred to have straight backs. You probably know, or you've probably heard, that German Shepherds tend to have hip dysplasia because they've been bred to have such a strange shape, I have to say, with their hind ends real low compared to their front ends. And I didn't know this, but this was an American thing. It was the Americans that started breeding them that way, and the Germans bred them because they could sell dogs to America. And the East Germans, of course, were not under that influence, so they didn't breed the dogs that way. Their dogs have straight backs. That is, their backs are parallel to the ground, and as a consequence, they don't have this problem with their hips. We went and took a look at these dogs, and we picked one of them out, a male, when they were only 3 weeks old. And we brought him home 3 weeks later, when he was he was 8 weeks old when we picked him up. And his name is Hallgrim. Hallgrim is an Icelandic name. Karen liked the name. She knew some person that was named Hallgrim. There was also a poet from the 15th century named Hallgrim, and we just liked the name. It's a little unusual, just like Andor. So we have a German Shepherd puppy. He is growing like a weed. He is very big for his age. He's going to be a very big dog, much bigger than Andor. And in any case, that has taken a lot of time and effort, because we had to completely empty out the main floor on which we lived, put down plastic tarpaulins on the floor, so that, because he wasn't housebroken, of course, and he is housebroken now, and we can start putting the house back together again, but it takes time, and Karen is working full time yet. She She goes to the university every day, 5 days a week, and she takes Hallgrim with her. This is very good training for him, socialization, so to speak. There are other dogs there where she works in the veterinary department, so he gets to play with them. She also goes with him on Sunday morning and Tuesday afternoon to puppy hour at dog school, and they'll be starting let's see, what's it called in English? Well, dog training anyway. Obedience. Training. She'll be starting that in 10 days, I believe. So all of this has kept us very, very busy, and since I can't walk without a crutch, I can't really take any videos. It's also very difficult just to drag out a camera, and even to use my cell phone is difficult because I have to constantly be supporting myself. And let's see here. We'll have to be careful here because the sun is directly in my eyes, and I'm gonna have to go around this way here. Yeah. In any case, between my physical handicap at the moment and the book and Hallgrim, we've been very, very busy. So I will go now do the show. The reason we're here today, shopping today, is that Karen went shopping this morning and forgot to buy sour cherries that she wants to make a pie this evening. She's going to make another pie, and she needed sour cherries, and she forgot to buy them. So I'll buy 6 jars of sour cherries and be back in a few minutes. I'm sorry, I'm not organized here at all in my thinking, and I'm kind of confused and not speaking much English. It's kind of a challenge anyway. So there you go. I'll be back in a few minutes with you. Well, that was painless. And the personnel in the store were so kind and thoughtful. They noticed that I was having trouble walking, and the one lady offered me a chair, and she asked me what I needed, and I told her, and she said, well, why don't you just sit here and I'll get the cherries for you. Which I was really, I mean, generally speaking, the personnel here is polite, but that was certainly very thoughtful on a late Saturday afternoon when I'm sure that she would rather be home. I think they close pretty soon. And I saw the manager as I was leaving, and I told him that I was really pleased with how kind the service had been and so on, and that made him happy. So that's good. It's all good. I always do that. When people when I'm treated well, particularly well, I try to see to it that the manager of the store or whoever it is responsible knows it. Because I think most people complain a lot when things aren't right, but I'm sure that they appreciate hearing when things are right. Big construction area here. I have no idea what they're... Oh, I guess they're putting in cables, probably optical fiber internet. This is the town of Neustadt, which those of you who still would remember from my older videos is where Karen took the train to go to work. She hasn't been taking the train because Hallgrim is still so young. She didn't want to take a chance on the train having him freak out or have an accident. But now he's big enough, I think she'll start probably taking him on the train next week. She's been driving every day, which is putting a lot of kilometers on our old car here. This Mercedes-Benz of ours is going to be 18 years old this year and has almost 300,000 kilometers. And it is getting tired. So we're going to be buying a new car. I think we'll buy a Mercedes C-Class station wagon. That'll give Hallgrim plenty of room in back, and we still haul stuff around and do a lot of work on the house. In case you're wondering, if you remember the last room that we didn't yet get rebuilt in our house, the library, it's still a construction site, and it's probably going to be that way a while yet, especially since I can't do anything right now, and Karen has her hands full with Hallgrim and her job, of course. She's going to be retiring in September. Not by her own choice, really, but it's getting to be time. I think it's time she takes it easy, although she won't take it easy anyway, of course. But here in Germany, there's mandatory retirement. When you get to retirement age, you really have no choice but to quit. I mean, but you have no choice because you'll be retired. She may try to look for some kind of work. She's trained in bookkeeping and using modern bookkeeping software. So maybe that she'll find something to do part-time. I still do translations, although I haven't had any for some time. The people that I used to do most of my translations for have moved up in the world, so that they don't do the kind of research anymore that gets published on an international scale, and as a consequence, they don't need their manuscripts translated, which is fine with me. I love translating. It's probably the one thing that I guess I like to do better than almost anything else, because it allows me to be somewhat creative without having to do original work. I mean, I'm not really interested in any kind of science anymore that I could do any kind of original work at home. So, but I have plenty of other things to do. I am a little disappointed that I can't that I haven't been able to take more videos and pictures because Hallgrim is going to be grown up, basically, and we're not going to have many videos of him, to be sure. I only have a few very short ones that Karen has been able to take. She just doesn't, she can't deal with him and take videos too. And like I said, when I'm on crutches trying to operate a video camera or even my cell phone is difficult. I have that gimbal that will allow me to handhold the camera, but I can't handhold it when when I have a crutch in each hand, of course. So we'll just have to wait until after I get my new hip and possibly my new knee as well. I don't know how well I'll be able to walk when I have just the hip replaced. I have a knee support. It's not just a bandage thing, but it has actually it has metal arms in the side and a hinge at the knee, so it supports my knee left to right. But I haven't been able to really even try it and find out how well it works because my hip is such a problem. So we'll see after I get the hip replaced how I can do with it, if I can live with the knee for a while, or whether I'm going to have to have it replaced too. The trouble with my joints is caused by the fact that I have rheumatoid arthritis. Thankfully, it's just in my joints. There are people that have it in what's called soft tissue rheumatoid arthritis, which is really terrible. It's much worse. My hands are completely deformed, and my feet are too. And but I can live with that. I'm supposed to have orthopedic shoes, but the old man that's supposed to be the best for making them just doesn't seem to be able to deliver, and I've waited almost a year already. It's a beautiful day, as you can see. It's about 24 degrees Celsius. I don't know what is that, 70, almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. But in any case, it's a lovely day. The air conditioning in the car still works. So it's about 19 degrees in here. We just turned off the main road and we're going to a little town called Bernsborg. It belongs to the collective of villages that our village belongs to. For those of you who have ridden along with me, my automobile mechanic who keeps this old car running is here in Bernsborg. There's nothing much else. There's nothing much else to say about this little town. They have a fishing club, angling club. So I think I've told you most of the news. I was going to try to get a video of starting the Azu this year, but that didn't happen. I have mowed now, let's see, I think I mowed the sixth time this season so far, yesterday. And the old Yazoo is running beautifully. I need to change the blades, but I just can't. I can't do it. I can't get down and lay on the ground. It's just not possible. If I did, I couldn't get back up again. And Karen could do it, but she just doesn't have time, really. So we're just running with the old dull blades, and the Yazoo's got so much power that it just mashes off the grass. The Honda mower, the big commercial Honda mower, is still laid up. I haven't gotten around to try to replace the the speed adjustment cable for the hydrostatic drive. It's been, I think this is the second year now. The little weed eater trimmer, string trimmer that my friend Ray sent me, I don't know what, 5 or 6 years ago, I guess, is still working perfectly. I know that people have a very bad opinion of Weed Eater brand, but it has been absolutely perfect. Karen has used it the last couple of years because it's light and easy to handle, and I've never even once taken the spark plug out of it. In the springtime, I fill it up with gas, or this year I even left it over the winter with gas in it. I have to say, I use special expensive gas mixture that does not have ethanol in it. So that's probably the reason that we don't have any problem with it either. And you press the primer bulb 10 times, and then pull the cord. I think I pulled it 5 times, and it started. And it has done that every year since we've had it. And the only trouble I have with it is I have trouble getting the trimmer spools. And since I use it a lot on cement on the walkways, the spools tend to get completely worn out. But last year I found a guy that was selling them for a very reasonable price, and so I bought 6 of them, I believe. And so I'm taking care of that way. I also bought these are all things that I would have loved to make videos about, but it just wasn't possible. I bought a battery-powered chainsaw, a Stihl, German Stihl, made in China, of course, I suppose. But in any case, it is fantastic, I must say. I've taken down trees with trunks twice the size of the blade, and it just works perfectly, and it's so easy. You just squeeze the trigger and it goes, and no pulling of cords and no carburetors to adjust and clean, and very unproblematic. So here we are, and Karen, the sweet dear, is sweeping up, and I'm going to drive right over the dirt here. Well, since I cut the end of the video off, I thought I'd just
put a little addendum on here. I did forget to mention that that we had a hole in our roof, damage to the roof. I think it happened in the storm recently, and a shale shingle got blown off, or blown out of position, and it was actually raining into the house. And it damaged some of the wall in the library, which of course doesn't matter because it's still, like I said, it's a construction site, and the clay wall is going to have to be finished anyway. So we had roofers come, very nice people, I have to say, very, very, very good, very responsible workers. They cleaned up their mess afterwards. They fixed every shingle that was not in perfect condition, and they came in a reasonable period of time. It's hard to get workers to come at all these days. I keep looking up at the screen up there, and I'm trying to look at you in the camera. In any case, that's taken care of. So that happened also in the last couple of weeks. And beyond that, I guess that's really all there is to say. Thanks very much for watching. I apologize, first of all, for this being so long. I also apologize for the dirty, dirty windshield. I'm really sorry about that, but if I don't put this video up now, I'm not going to put a video up at all. So I better just put it up, and you'll have to put up with the dirty windshield. I really apologize for that. I didn't realize how smeary it was when I was sitting in the car. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. And I hope it won't be so long until the next video is up. Bye.